In the main screen, the player can either start the game, jump into the credits screen, or he can also select to quit the game. The basic controls to interact with the game are WASD for movement, spacebar for interaction, and mouse for grabbing objects. Also, if you notice, you have a dot in the center, that is where you're looking at, and in the top right corner you have the current level that you are. Once the player hits escape, he will be displayed with this screen. The resume button will take this player back to the game. Controls will show again the controls that he can use to interact with the system. Hints at the moment is not showing, but it will give a better explanation of the challenge once they're in each room. The same thing happens when you hit the achievement system. Achievements goes and displays what they have done depending on the level and depending on the answer puzzles. Last, we have quit game. Quit game will send back to the main screen. First, let hit resume. We will go back to the game, and then let's try hitting quit, which will send us back to the main menu. Every time the player enters a room, he will be greeted with a challenge. In the challenge, he will get an explanation of how to solve the puzzle. The first room is the if statement room. In this room, the player needs to find the apple that weighs the most, also known as the poisonous apple, by placing the apples in the scale and then stepping on top of the carpet. The player can trigger the weighting mechanism to find the poisonous apple. Once the player finds the apple, it needs to be moved towards the poisonous plate or the purple plate, and then one of the healthy apples to the red plate. By doing so, the player will be able to escape this room. Let's look at the grabber system. Grabber system can only interact with objects that are highlighted, or in other words, that can be moved. In this case, apples can be moved. You only need to get close enough to them, use your left click from your mouse, and while you hold it, you can move the objects freely. Then, as easy as moving the objects to the desired place and letting go of the mouse will move those objects and leave them in the position that you want. Once the player successfully finishes a puzzle, he will be displayed with an achievement. This achievement also allows to press I for more information, and in this screen, the player will get a brief description of what he just did and how it's connected to computer science. Then, clicking resume will get him back to the game. The second room is the array room. The objective of this room is that the player needs to arrange the books using the desired pattern shown in the challenge. Once the player gets close enough to the books, he can notice that he have colors and certain patterns that match that pattern shown at the beginning. As the player puts the books on the shelves, the candles will turn from red to green, notifying a successful match. Once all the books have been arranged in the correct pattern, the door will open and he will be free to go into the next room. An interesting feature in this room is also the clear shelf. Let's say you already did a selection and you might not be happy and you want to start again. You just place yourself in the carpet, hit on the spacebar, and all the books will go back to their original position, just how you found it the moment that you step into the room. The third room is the loop room. The challenge states that you have to repeat the mixture a couple of times before you can leave the room. In here, the player has to pick up exactly one portion of each, place it under the cauldron, and once the action is completed, he has to go back to the carpet and activate the cauldron. If the player happens to do this action successfully for 2 times, he will be able to get out of this room and head finally into the final room. Congratulations! You open the last door. The only thing that you need to do is proceed to the crown area and get close enough. Once you're there, you will go to the final credit screen and get a little reminder of all these achievements that you unlocked. Thank you for playing the game. You have been an amazing player.